This is my favorite story out today. There is a new study out by the dating app Lumen, which shows that conservatives are much better at dating than liberals. This company found that right-wingers are more direct than their left-wing counterparts. You know, we're not that kind of mealy-mouthed, saying one thing and meaning another, and slippery and unctuous and oily. We tell people what we think. That's what gets us in trouble on campus and at our jobs and on television and in politics. The company found that conservatives clearly state to potential lovers what they're looking for in terms of life and romance, and that they also value family and friendships more highly than liberals do. And they have a smaller and more intimate group of friends. They're closer, whereas liberals tend to thrive in larger social groups where they don't really know anybody. Conservatives have friends and intimates, and liberals have acquaintances. The advantage they found for the liberals in this study is that liberals are more carefree and more fun-loving than conservatives. So, you know, when liberals do get a date, gets a little bit weirder, I guess. But for the conservatives, they care much more about these relationships. They're more direct. Why is this? It seems to me it's the same issue we keep going back to. Conservatives, at our best, in our worldview, in our philosophy, look away from ourselves. We look at the world. We find great awe in the world. You know, I forget if it was Chesterton or Lewis who said that I think it was Chesterton, who said we're dying, our culture is in trouble, not from lack of wonders, but from lack of wonder. There's so many wonders in the world. People are so beautiful. It's so interesting and wonderful to talk to people. But what we're suffering from is a lack of curiosity, a lack of awe from ourselves to even be interested in those other people. It's the same kind of view of the sexual revolution. You know, if you look at the consequences of the sexual revolution, ubiquitous high-speed internet pornography, hookup culture, all of the hookup culture is ubiquitous now too, and many people have experienced that, especially in college. But when you look at the consequences of that, it's all essentially about the self. It's about me. Widespread abortion on demand. Abortion itself is all about you, me, at no regard whatsoever for the other person who is killed as a result of this. All of it. The consequences of this for children, that awful case in Texas where the mother wants to inject her son with hormones and block him from going through puberty because she really wants him to be a daughter. It's all about the self, and that is corrosive. It makes people unhappy. It makes them bad dating partners, and it's why conservatives do better in the dating scene. But it turns out that's not the last thing they discovered. What we've also discovered is that conservatives are hotter than liberals. Science proves it, according to these studies. A person's looks apparently affect their politics, and beautiful people lean more toward conservative beliefs, according to a study published by 2 professors in the Midwest. If you control for socioeconomic status, you find that more attractive individuals are more likely to report higher levels of political efficacy, identify as conservative, and identify as Republicans. This makes sense too. It's not just a joke. I mean, I kind of joke about it a little bit sometimes, that conservatives are hotter than liberals, but it does make sense because conservatives tend to be more at peace in the world. Not that they're always happier, but they're more at peace. They're more understanding of reality and the reality of suffering and the brokenness of human nature. And we're not constantly chasing utopias, and we're not constantly falling apart and focusing on our suffering and on ourselves as the center of the universe, because we know that isn't true. We're more at peace in the world, and I'm not surprised that people who have some physical advantages also are more at peace as well. Just a little nugget to tuck away in there next time you're arguing with your left-wing friends. Hey, Michael Knowles here, and the fact is, these cigars aren't cheap. Be sure to subscribe to the Daily Wire on YouTube, because I depend heavily on your support to continue enjoying this wonderful lib-triggering life.